Matthew Perry's former assistant is being sentenced in Los Angeles today for his role in the 2023 overdose death of the Friends actor.
Kenneth Essamuah pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute ketamine causing death as part of a plea deal. Prosecutors allege Essamuah gave Perry the final fatal dose of the drug nearly 3 years ago. Essamuah was Perry's live-in personal assistant at the time and was the last person to see him alive. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas following this case for us. We're also joined by NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris. Chloe, I'll start with you. Perry's family has expressed outrage about Essamuah and his actions. Can you tell us more about the relationship that he had with the Friends star and what the family is saying already, even before sentencing?
Kate, that's right. I mean, Kenneth Essamuah was Matthew Perry's live-in assistant for 2 years, and he was very aware of Matthew Perry's long-time addiction to ketamine and other substances. And in a heartbreaking letter to the court, Suzanne Morrison, Matthew Perry's mother, she says that she really puts tremendous blame on Kenny Essamuah. In part, she writes that his #1 responsibility was to ensure that Matthew remained what he wanted to be, drug-free. We trusted a man without a conscience, and my son paid the price. We've also heard from one of Matthew Perry's sisters, Caitlin Morrison, who writes, "I'll never know if Kenny Essamuah understood what he was doing, but I hope someday he'll understand the gravity of his actions. If you ask me, he could use a good long time to think about it." And also what Suzanne Morrison writes in her letter is that Kenny knew his job was safe if all he had to do was pick up the phone and call any member of the family, any member of the care team, and let them know that Matthew Perry was on the hunt for a substance, and they would have come straight over to the house and helped intermediate between the situation.
Yeah, and Chloe, you've kind of laid out prosecutors essentially saying Essamuah delivered that final fatal dose. How much time behind bars could he be facing?
Prosecutors are seeking 41 months behind bars, and this is something that his team is, definitely trying to get to be reduced, but it's not looking like very favorable in his situation compared to the other sentences that you've seen for the other 4 individuals.
Yeah. Misty, Essamuah was the first defendant in this case in the beginning to plead guilty, and he became a key witness for the prosecution. Could that help him in terms of the sentencing?
It definitely does. So when you have sentencing, it's like a math equation. Basically, what prosecutors recommend is based on different levels that are in the sentencing guidelines. There are 2 enhancements that they're seeking for obstruction of justice, trying to get rid of evidence after the fact, as well as being, as you laid out, Chloe, in a position of private trust. But a significant downgrade, meaning making the sentence less severe, is providing substantial information that was useful to prosecutors with respect to the other co-defendants and pleading guilty and taking accountability. So all of that's taken into consideration when the prosecutors make the recommendation for today.
And to the point of the prosecution's recommendation, I mean, 3.5 years, does that amount surprise you based on everything that has played out?
So prosecutors are supposed to look for sentences that are proportional to this individual's role they played in the crime, as well as all of those other factors that we spoke about. But given everything we know, the sentence could be up to 15 years for pleading guilty to this charge. That would be up to the judge. But what prosecutors recommended took into account that plea deal and the significant information that led them to prosecutions of co-conspirators, which is always something that will downgrade a sentence.
Yeah, really interesting. Misty Marris, Chloe Malas, thank you both.